Did you know that some of the strangest events in history were never mentioned in school? We're talking about stories erased, forgotten, or simply too unusual to survive in our textbooks. Today we're diving deep to uncover 9 of them. Let's begin. Old European folklore speaks of 2 powerful rulers of the year, a concept that explains the world in a way modern science never could. The Holly King was said to govern winter and darkness, his influence peaking at the winter solstice. His counterpart, the Oak King, ruled over summer and light, his strength greatest during the longest days of the year. Every 6 months, at the solstices, these 2 kings would meet in a symbolic battle, and their powers would reverse. The Oak King would defeat the Holly King to usher in the warm months, and the Holly King would return to reclaim his throne as winter approached. This wasn't just a fairy tale. It was an ancient, intuitive way to understand the cyclical turning of the seasons, long before we had scientific explanations for Earth's tilt and orbit. It's a forgotten story, a piece of ancient wisdom hidden in winter traditions like decorating with holly that still survive today, their original meanings lost to time. Imagine your government introducing a tax so unpopular that it permanently changed the look of your city. That's exactly what happened in 17th and 18th century Britain with the introduction of the window tax. The logic was simple. The more windows a house had, the wealthier its owner was presumed to be. So, the government decided to tax people based on the number of windows in their homes. It was essentially an early form of income tax, but with a very visible and strange side effect. To avoid paying the fee, thousands of homeowners, from the moderately well-off to those just trying to get by, simply bricked up their windows. Entire rows of houses suddenly had blank, sealed-off patches of brick where light once streamed in. Many of these ghost windows still exist today, silent, eerie reminders that a single, unpopular tax literally changed the face of entire cities and left a permanent mark on architecture. Next time you see mistletoe hanging in a doorway during the holidays, remember it wasn't always about stealing a kiss. Long before it became a symbol of romance, mistletoe was seen as a powerful plant of peace and protection. Ancient cultures, including the Druids, believed it held mystical properties. A sprig hung above the main entrance to a home was thought to ward off evil spirits and stop bad intentions from entering. It was a guardian, a natural shield for the household. In some traditions, if enemies met under mistletoe, they were required to lay down their arms and declare a truce for the day. The kissing tradition we know today didn't appear until centuries later in England, but its origins are rooted in this idea of goodwill and safety. So, the original meaning was entirely practical. Mistletoe guarded the household long before it invited a kiss. Let's travel to a place shrouded in legend, Glastonbury Tor in England. For centuries, this iconic hill appeared as an island floating on a sea of mist. The surrounding low-lying land, the Somerset Levels, was once a vast wetland, often flooded. During colder months, dense fog would roll in and completely swallow the base of the hill, leaving only the tower at its peak visible above the clouds. To the people who saw this, it looked like a magical island suspended between earth and sky. It's no wonder they believed it was a gateway to another realm, the mythical Isle of Avalon. Today we know the phenomenon was caused by the unique shape of the valley and moisture getting trapped in cold air, a process called temperature inversion. But even with a scientific explanation, the sight of Glastonbury Tor rising from the mist still feels otherworldly, a true link to a more mystical past. Think about the strangest job you've ever heard of. To compare to being a night caller? In the 1600s, before widespread public clocks or personal watches, keeping time was a community effort. Some towns hired a person whose sole job was to walk the dark, quiet streets all night long and shout out the time every hour. They were human clocks. Their calls helped citizens set their own clocks, know when to wake up for work, and served as a form of nightly patrol. They would often add a weather update or a reassuring all's well to their call. It was a strange but essential profession that connected the whole community through the rhythm of the night. This job eventually disappeared as technology advanced and public clocks became common. But for a time, the sound of a human voice marked the passage of the hours. In medieval libraries, books were so incredibly valuable that they had to be chained directly to the shelves. This might sound like a way to restrict access, but the intention was the exact opposite. It was a system designed to protect knowledge itself, not to hoard it. In an age before printing presses, each book was a masterpiece, painstakingly copied by hand over months or even years. The loss of a single book could mean losing years of work and irreplaceable information. So libraries attached a chain to the cover of each book, which was then linked to a rod on the bookshelf. This allowed visitors to freely take a book from the shelf and read it at a nearby desk, but prevented it from being removed from the library. The chain was a sign of profound respect for the book, not a restriction on the reader. Have you heard the tales of lamps found still glowing inside ancient tombs, discovered thousands of years after they were sealed? Early explorers and historians reported these ever-burning lamps, sparking theories of lost technology or even magic. But the reality is a fascinating mix of chemistry and illusion. The lamps didn't burn continuously for centuries. Instead, they used very dense, slow-burning fuels, like thick oils or asbestos wicks, that could smolder at extremely high temperatures for days or weeks with very little oxygen. When explorers broke the seal of a tomb, a sudden rush of fresh air would provide the oxygen needed to relight the still hot embers. To the astonishment of those who witnessed it, the lamp would appear to spring back to life, creating the illusion that its flame had survived for millennia. A truly clever trick of science. Imagine living in a small village centuries ago, and on a stormy night, the church bells begin to ring all on their own. It would be terrifying. In Old English folklore, these phantom bells were seen as a dire omen, a warning of a coming disaster or a message from the supernatural world. People believed spirits were ringing them. But there's a simple, scientific explanation for this spooky phenomenon. It's all about physics. During a storm, the atmospheric pressure can drop suddenly and dramatically. This rapid change in pressure could cause the large metal bells to vibrate, producing a faint but audible ringing sound, even without anyone touching the ropes. Two people living centuries ago, without an understanding of atmospheric science, the sound was a chilling message from the sky. Today, we know it's just physics, but it's a reminder of how the world once felt full of unexplained wonders. Stonehenge is one of the world's most famous mysteries, but one of its greatest secrets is hidden in plain sight. It's not just a random collection of giant stones. It's a sophisticated astronomical calendar. The entire structure is aligned with the sun's movements with incredible precision. On the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, if you stand in the center of the circle and look out toward the main avenue, you will see the rising sun appear directly over the heelstone. This perfect alignment is no coincidence. It reveals that the builders of Stonehenge, who lived over 4,000 years ago, possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy and engineering. It wasn't just a monument or a place of ritual, it was a working calendar, a tool to mark the changing of the seasons and track celestial events, and it remains accurate to this day. History is filled with countless stories like these, hidden just beneath the surface of what we were taught. These weren't just strange events. They shaped the way people saw their world. If you want to explore more forgotten facts and uncover the mysteries that textbooks left out, be sure to watch the next video. Thanks for watching.